Hey everyone, we're here with tarot therapist Michelle Nolan to get an update on the energy for the rest of April. What can we expect and how can we best use the energy? Let's find out. Hi, Michelle.
No.
Hi, Robin. Hi, Karen. Happy to be here again.
Oh, love having you here. So let's just dive in.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about the next few weeks. So we have the rest of April.
I have my deck. So we'll just dive in. Spirit, please open the session for the Seeking Centered community and the collective. What is it would you like to speak with them about today, about these next upcoming weeks, any energy that they can be expecting? And please give everybody an open heart and an open mind to receive this information. And as always, we thank you for your guidance and your protection and your connectivity today. Okay. As we know, we are just coming into Aries season, right? April is the month of Aries, and it is the initiator in the zodiac, a ball of fire. Just everything is getting lit. So I love that right away we get the Queen of Wands at the start. So that is Aries energy for sure. Now it's feminine energy, which I love because there is a little bit of a softness to that. We've initiated a change because I remember in that last reading, one of the big cards we ended with was that Ace of Wands, was the action. So the Queen of Wands, this is her tool. This is what she works with. She works with fire energy. She works with creative energy. She works with change energy. And she works with initiation and momentum. But there's also to her versus the King for me, there's this placement of authenticity that's very important. Because when I think of the King of Wands, it's a little more forceful. The Queen of Wands has more of a softer approach because she's shining from the inside out. The King forces things a little bit. The Queen says, I want to inspire you. I want you to see who I really am and then make changes regarding how I'm attracting people that are around me to me that have that similar vibration. And then also I can lead in that way. I'm inspiring people because I am authentic first. So that's the kind of the energy I'm getting right away, starting with these next few weeks. And I think it just has this lightness to it that I feel like we've been missing these last few months. This is a lot more fun. I feel like people are just really coming out of their shells right now. And think of that on multiple levels. That might be obviously physically, right? If we're living in the Midwest, things are getting a little bit lighter and you're trying to enjoy your environment more, be a little more social, that type of thing. But on an internal level, that is actually just getting more confident, right? Like wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard, wanting to experience some new things that you haven't been able to maybe experience in the last few months, or after we had some serious endings, which we were talking about how heavy those last few months have been. Now we can feel like we've lost a bit of a load. We feel refreshed. So the Queen of Wands to the Three of Cups to the Chariot and the Empress. Wow, it's all really feminine energy to me. Okay, but again, there's a buoyancy here, which I love. The Three of Cups energy is we're really connecting now more at this heart level, which we talked about in the last reading. We're finding that connectivity now with others. Okay, we're getting more centered with how we're connecting with other people and being so much more open to receiving those connections, because that's the Empress. The Chariot Empress, very positive energy. All this is positive right away, which I love. But it's also movement because the Queen of Wands does not want to sit around. She wants to do things. Okay. And the Chariot and the Empress, why I like that combination together, is the Empress would have a tendency of waiting and passively waiting for things to come to her. Now, is she good at that? Yeah, she's basically rules the law of attraction. She knows how to flow with what's happening on an energetic level and let things come to her and be a giver. But with the Chariot there, it tells me that now the way we are operating and are hoping to choose to operate this way is that we're not going to just be passive. That's not the point. We are going to openly move towards our goals, but always connecting and flowing if things redirect us. If there's a redirection, we're open to it. But we're still going to be moving. We're not waiting. We're moving. We're saying, hey, Let's go. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to make a plan for this. And I'm going to keep trying to hit those marks and try to make those changes. But the open receptivity of the Empress is so aware that things can change at any moment. Things can shift at any moment. And those actually might be in your best interest. Those people that come in your life might be a redirection for you. The connections that come in right now seem to be pretty powerful. What I'm feeling with this, the joy of remaining open is almost like we're wanting to fill that heart space up again. We did a lot of closures in the last few months so that we had room on a heart level to refill it. So that's where we're starting off, which I think is really fun.
I feel it. That feeling of just wanting to go.
We're talking, let's just generally say through these, because it's not completely linear, but through the month of April, right?
Yeah,
That's what we're forecasting here. But starting this energy out like that is, I really love it. Let me just see about this Queen of Wands. Okay. So I'm getting the Justice card to this. Do you remember that's what was the heart of the reading for the last?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And that was about the King of Cups. I have a pretty good memory with the spreads. It was the King of Cups to the Justice card. And this is the Queen of Wands to the Justice card. So saying for those who really pressed the button, for those who said, you know what, F it, I'm just going to go for it. This is that karmic movement. This is the karmic opening. This is the universe saying, okay, glad you listened. And what I like to say is do the off ramp, because we can continue down the highway the way we've been going and it's fine. But when the universe gives you the opportunity to elevate, to amplify, and if you take it, you get something back for that. You're taking a risk. So you go off the off ramp in a different direction. So that Three of Cups, the Chariot, and Empress, I think this is the opportunity that the universe is saying, okay, we are in rebalancing mode, in the kind of refilling. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles to Three of Cups is now we're accumulating more of that heart space energy, which is giving us momentum to launch. Okay, because if you think of just like a car, think of a race car, and the visual there of like when they spend time creating the dynamics of a car to go fast, you're really designing yourself to move faster by getting rid of that weight, to get rid of the burdens that like have been stopping you or the obstacles that have been getting in your way. And again, that could be on a mental level, that could be on an energetic level, that could be in the physical level, right? There's a lot of different levels of energy, but you're lightening the load so that you can move faster. So the Chariot and Empress with the Eight of Cups, this is the unloading, the baggage. Now we have just literally poured out of us and said, I don't need this anymore. I don't need those old thoughts, those old patterns, those old people even. I will say with the Three of Cups, a lot of times that's people for me. That's like community, and who's in your community and not in your community. And this is really hard for people a lot of the times because they're very attached to others, right? More so than things. And this is a lot of times we're saying, it's okay. I will take this off ramp because that's what I want to do. And it's okay if you, my friends, my love, whoever, want to stay on the highway. But this is the direction that I'm going in. So it is a big purge. This is actually being able to feel what it feels like to be lighter.
Yeah, it does feel like. But as people will hear, it's very much in alignment with Stevie's astrology.
No, and just so you know, I want to tell everyone this because this is part of my being authentic, is I didn't listen to her. I don't want to listen until I do this because I don't want any of that to taint what I'm saying.
Totally.
Doesn't blow your mind.
Yeah, which we love is that's the authenticity. And then because we get to observe all of it, validating, that's part of what we do on Seeking Center. It is this validation. What we know from authentic practitioners is that because you're tapping in so clearly and authentically into this collective energy, it comes out no matter what your tool is.
Comes out, right? So beautiful start. Like everyone who is aligning with this energy and choosing to align, because again, it's a choice, choosing to align to this energy, I think it's just going to feel the weight lifted. Just saying to themselves, okay, like it's okay. It's okay to let go. It's okay to know that some things are just old and they're just not meant for this part of my path right now. You don't know if they'll circle back, and you don't know what's in the future, but you do know for right now you can let go. That's the main theme. So that piece is how we're coming into this April, which I love because the Queen of Wands is one of my favorite. She's me because I'm a fire sign. So I love this energy. I love it. But after that, how does it start to settle in? We have the Nine of Pentacles. So very independent energy. She's actually really interesting because the Empress was the last card there before her. This is my real world Empress card. To me, Empress is more of divine feminine. She's the concept of the divine. She's the concept of kind of the law of attraction, the idea of constant flow of giving and receiving. But the Nine of Pentacles is the real world Empress. Okay, this is how does this look in a very tangible 3D way? Okay, so I'm getting that Page of Wands with the Ace of Swords. So this is saying I've changed because of that operating system that I chose to delete the files of the old and allow in for the new, that because of this decision, now I feel like I am whole. Now I feel that what I have to give is so much more of me because I know me, like I'm knowing who I am. So I have more to give. You're not grappling with that. But then there's also, I have more to receive because now I also understand what that Empress truly means. It means that I have to be open to also receive. That if you cannot be a Nine of Pentacles, embody a Nine of Pentacles holistically, if you can't say to yourself, I absolutely am open to receiving abundance. A lot of people say that, they want that, but when they look at their patterns of their behavior or their thinking, they are not ready for it because whether their worthiness or they aren't willing to take the risks, whether that be in professional life or personal life, and they're also just not ready to grapple with the fact of knowing who they are and what they're willing to receive that's actually good for them, that's for their highest good. So I think this change is really because of the decision of letting go, the decision of saying, when we understand now who we really are at a core level, we know that there are a lot of people that we can't take with. We know that there are a lot of people that aren't going to align with us. We know that we might have more haters than lovers, right? You just know that. It's just part of the game. So that part, I think, is a very real world consequence of where we have just come from, and accepting that and knowing that's where the growth is now. And then that magnetization of community or the people that really get you or want to commune with you are really in that same vibration. But the abundance part, I think, is what is attractive to me in this versus where we were before. Is this is some serious growth opportunity here, so that it's even in real world time. So whether that be money, job, people, relationships, any of that, this is definitely something that we can attract at a really high level right now.
Yay.
So staying in that energy
Let's
is
go
great.
with that.
Yeah.
I'm ready and let's go.
But you have to be, I think what people, at least I find with tarot, is they love the idea of the term abundance. Everyone uses that term a lot. And when I really dig with people, because I like to say, like, I'm probably do more shadow work than light working, is I find that they're really not ready, that they're actually not ready for that job. They're not ready to be that level of success. They're not ready to get married. They're not ready to get divorced. They're literally not ready. Now they say, oh, I know this would be better for me, or I know this job would be better, this relationship, this place, this environment, whatever. But then when they really look at themselves, their behaviors, their way of thinking, their emotions are not aligned with that at all. So I think this part here is more about figuring out that when we let go of things, again, yin and yang energy, contrast is really important. When we leave room and space for the abundance to come in, we have to also be okay with the letting go of other things. You have to be.
People tend to, I can even feel this physically. It's like when you let that lightness go, so many are so used to carrying everything that the tendency can be is like, oh, but I gotta feel that way again. I gotta bring it back in just to feel normal. And taking that risk of walking a little bit with that lighter load to then see what naturally comes versus.
Yeah.
And so I think in the mindset, okay, because when I see that Ace of Swords, that is definitely saying yes, yes to the mindset, right? Yes to the Empress quality, yes to the Nine of Pentacles, yes to the abundance, manifesting, thinking in terms of what I want my world to really look like. But then when I get next to that with the Knight of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, this is where we are slowly understanding how we move through what might sabotage us or hold us back. This is the heart of April. That yes, my mindset might be here, but my old patterns, my old ways might just pop up, and I have to really concentrate and dedicate to what might start like gnawing at us or triggering us to go backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like to look at this kind of energy as my view is when we are really elevating, when we are really amplifying, when we are really spiritually evolving, there's always big moments of where things get tougher, the light or the night before the dawn, where people grasp us harder, where we grasp things harder, where we say all the stuff comes up in our mind of the can'ts and won'ts and the shouldn'ts, right? All that stuff comes up in almost a burst because other people, if you think of other people around you, they can see you changing as well.
Yeah.
They see you changing, and that is not usually a likable quality for most. People do not like change. They definitely don't want others to change.
Yeah.
They like it if they're on board, but if they're not on board, that doesn't usually go very well. So I feel like there's something in that energy in the heart of this reading that to be very aware of the difference between that kind of night before dawn kind of moments with people and yourself, and recognizing that as a last grasp of energy before you really let go of things? Or is it something that you need to tweak for yourself?
I think see that playing out both collectively and then personally for most people in their lives. So I think on the collective front, we're all living in a time where no matter what you believe, things are never going to be the same. They're just never going to be the
Right.
same. They're just not. And however that plays out, I don't think any of us know right now. And it feels like you just want to grasp on to what was normal, what we've known for so long. And it doesn't matter what we want or think, it's just not going to be the same. But allowing for that change and then applying that in your own personal life, which is the most important right now, is how do you walk through your everyday, because that's what matters. But again, giving yourself that grace of knowing you might grab onto the old, but let it go because it's not serving you anymore.
And if you're conscious about that, if you've understanding that, then you understand that's how energy really works. This is the whole idea of why I do tarot, is to really understand the energy. Like you need to have that kind of flow, that contrast of saying, of course, there's like a lot of sticky things here that are trying to stick to us moving through into this kind of large change. And we have to see where those sticky points are, whether that be people or patterns or things, and pay attention to them and just know that's just part of the energy right now. So it's a slow movement through that, just be conscious about it. And then to end that part, the Eight of Pentacles to the King of Cups. This was the heart of the reading for the last one, right? The King of Cups to the Justice card. So here, I always tell this to people with this Eight of Cups energy. When we're in a purge mode, the hardest thing of letting go is the emotional attachment. We might make changes physically, we might change behaviors, we may change the way we think, but it's really effing hard to change the way we feel. That is the hardest place. So the work here with those sticky points that will be happening is to assess those feelings and understand that those are just attached feelings. Your mindset is already changing. You've already told yourself you're moving forward into a new place anyway. The feelings, we just need to hopefully sweep them up and get rid of the detachment, or get rid of the attachment and be a little more detached with the feelings while we move into this next phase. But that part is always the hardest because our feelings are this is why we're human, right? We feel for people, we feel for our old things, we feel nostalgia, we feel connected. But when we have to let that stuff go, it hurts. So that's the work there. That's the work in this part.
Okay.
Okay. And then to end this, we're talking about almost like ending April. We have the Strength card, the Moon, and the Nine of Cups. The Strength is what I just was talking about. The Strength is in detachment. The Strength is in emotionally saying that I understand that not everyone's going to be on board with me. I understand that I'm not going to connect with everyone now. I understand that I might feel sad, lonely, disconnected from some of the stuff that feels not like me anymore. But I can just analyze those feelings and still keep moving, right? And still keep going and just address them, give them the space, the gratitude of the feel, and then move through it and not get sucked back in.
It feels very to me also like when we end the month, we'll be in Taurus, a lot more grounding. And that's of, okay, I'm putting down new roots. So you have the strength of the earth.
Funny that you just said that, because the strength to that is the foundation.
That's what it feels like.
Yes, because the platform is new, right?
Yeah.
The platform is new. And the stability now comes from what you're growing for the future, not where you've been. That was dead. It actually has been dying, and you've been grieving that whole world probably for a while. Because when I get Eight of Cups in the beginning of this reading, that isn't a place that just is built up over a small amount of time. That's a place of true depth of connectivity that we had to really purge. And now we're recreating a foundation that we want to restabilize for ourselves so that we're strong. So that's true. That's what you just said. But Neptunian, like where I said we're headed with the Three of Wands, the Moon, we're headed into who the fuck knows? That's exactly what the Moon is.
Okay, that's the quote of this whole.
Yeah. But there's a very specific purpose to that Moon energy. It is a place of deep, unconscious, spiritual intuitiveness, connectivity in a psychic way, not in a tangible way, and understanding things on a very much deeper level than really putting out into definition. So the idea here is when you are aware that this is where you're going, I always say with the Moon energy, just like the moonlight feels and looks like, you don't run down a moonlit path, you walk. If it was lit in the daytime, no problems. But if it's moonlit, you go slowly. It's intentional. Everything you want to feel and observe as you're moving in that direction. If you're consciously doing that, you are observing people's feelings, your feelings, what is going on all around you and within you. And you are alchemy, like the alchemy of that is really important. You want to observe all of that for yourself and for other people. But the idea of saying to yourself, I'm ready to go into that unknown, because we already took the operating system and said yes to, hopefully. I'm ready to use this operating system and learn it because I don't know it. It is unknown to me. That's the direction you want to align to. You don't have the need to know the answers. Doubt can still be there. Fear can still be there, but you still are going. You still are moving. And then the final card here is the Nine of Cups with the Nine of Wands. That's an interesting energy because that tells me that we are collectively fighting with ourselves about what it is we want personally for the world, for the bigger picture. And there's still a tension of what we want for the world and our own little worlds seems to still be hard to see because we're so early, like I said, in this operating system that we don't really know what it can do. We don't know what we can do. So if you're thinking about, let's say it's a new job, you don't know what that trajectory is. If you're thinking about a new relationship, you don't know how that relationship will turn out. If you're thinking about a community or a place, you don't know what's going to grow. So there's a lot of tension there. I feel like if this unknown place is something I really want, but I still feel really tense about not knowing what that really is. So again, very nebulous, very nebulous. But if we are just aware that we keep moving, in this direction and we keep saying yes to more the unknown than the known, you're on the right path.
Okay.
All right.
That's very helpful for those of us who are out there not sure and are navigating. So thank you.
There was a good quote I read recently, and I loved this. And I'm sorry, I can't reference who said it, but the person said, "You only live in the unknown."
That is so true. And it goes back, Karen, to what you were saying even at the beginning of this conversation about control. We really have no control. We don't. And so this just emphasizes that. And if you can go with that flow, the energy is supporting this. We're not supposed to know. We really aren't supposed to know. And so if you can welcome that and take it day by day, sometimes it's hour by hour, and know that as you're putting your best foot forward every day, that's the best that you can do in any new situation, in these, especially when we're creating this new foundation. That is the whole thing, is we're creating a new foundation for ourselves and for our world. So for those cards and that energy and everything coming through you to really align with the feeling I think a lot of us are feeling right now, it's just such validation.
But that moon energy, I'll just say, this is why it's so important, but it's subtle, is those little feelings, those hunches, like, oh, I really feel like this is the time I should move. I really feel like this feels like that person feels like someone I need to know. This job feels like something I need to leave. Those little whispers are really significant right now.
Oof.
You're supposed to listen to
Love that.
I love what you also said about walking in the moonlight versus running. That really stuck with me.
Good.
Take the steps slowly. There's no rush to get anywhere. That's helpful too.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And for everybody, we're going to be doing a live with Michelle in the coming weeks. And if you want to work with her, you can message her within the community, or you can reach out to her at mtnolan, NOLAN.com. Thank you.
Thank you.